So how on earth did it come to this? Somewhere in a Chinese animal market in a province that none of us have ever heard of before. A disease is born, and 2 or 3 months later it is everywhere in the whole world. It is coronavirus. Of course, in Bible times, people were well used to pestilence and plague and great widespread illnesses, but they didn't know about viruses. Interesting, this is what a virus is. It is a submicroscopic organism that can multiply only inside living host cells. Is it a disease that is born of a disease? Well, I think that gets it all for the coronavirus, doesn't it? Now here is an incredible thought. Actually, some of you might think it's a crazy thought. I don't think it's a crazy thought. I think it is an incredible and very truthful thought. That Jesus himself has actually got, or is going to get very soon, coronavirus. Do we really think that he's going to keep out of the way and hide away from it? That he's not going to share in what we're going through? You know, lots of people have got a sort of a spiritual Saint Clay Superman version of Jesus. He's different from us, he's got incredible powers, he's immune to all the normal things. The Bible, interestingly, teaches the exact opposite. St. Paul said that Jesus left behind all the power and the glory and the comfort of heaven and came to earth to be born as an ordinary man. Jesus' favourite sort of a nickname or way of describing himself was the name Son of Man. He loved to refer to himself as the Son of Man. Theologians have argued for centuries about what it means. Nobody's definitely sure, but my take on it, my view is that it was his way of saying, I'm an ordinary man. I'm an everyday man. I'm a man just like the rest of you. If you remember all the Christmas stories, then there's a name for Jesus there that just comes singing out of them. It is the name Emmanuel. And Emmanuel means God with us. In other words, in our most desperate, needy situations, Jesus, the Son of Man, is with us. Is it any wonder that we read verses like this? The Son of Man is to be betrayed into human hands, and they will kill him afterwards. Or again, for the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom, as a gift for all of us. Just thinking about this, earlier on today, I've been just doing a quick rough sketch of my little world, of where I live. It is the amazing, the wonderful, but the very struggling city of Bradford. And this is how I like to think of Bradford. I live on a big hill and I sort of look down into this old mill town. And some days when the sun is shining, it's all yellow and golden and blue. This is how I see it. The problem is suddenly there is a great big cloud hanging over the whole city. It's dark and black and lowering and heavy, and yeah, there's plenty of sunshine, but the sunshine's above the cloud, and we Bradfordians, we are all below it. In fact, it's not just a cloud over Bradford, it's a cloud over Yorkshire, England, and now it's a cloud over the whole world. So this is the question. Is Jesus above the cloud in a sort of a heavenly blue tranquility? Or is he down here in the squashed up streets and houses underneath the cloud, but sharing that underneath cloud business with all of us? Where do you think he is? Above? Below? Below or above? I think that the Jesus who is the Son of Man, the Emmanuel God, if you like, God with us. I think he's underneath the cloud. I think he feels it just like us. I think he can wake up in the night and think, what's it all about? I think he can worry about his own family and his friends getting coronavirus. He knows people who are particularly vulnerable. He knows they're self-isolating. What is going to happen to them? He worries about food and the National Health Service and how we're going to care for all the doctors. Why? Because he is the real God with us, Jesus, and he is below the cloud, not swanning it somewhere in a big throne up in the blue heaven. This is a picture of Jesus, did some time ago, and it's one of my favourite Jesus pictures, really. And it just struck me, I didn't think this when I painted it, all these people, they're all sort of blue. They're all underneath the cloud. And there is Jesus with them and with me and with you. The problem with Jesus is that we all know a little bit about him, and most of us have got a little bit of belief in him. And for some of us, it's not much more than the Christmas stories. Baby Jesus, born in a stable, shepherds, wise men. But we've sort of lost it as we've grown older. Maybe now is a time to rediscover this amazing Jesus. For me, he is my great leader. He right now is my most important friend. He's my confidant. I talk to him repeatedly through the day. He is my brother. He is my God. You know, one of the last things he said to his followers was, remember, I will be with you always to the end of days. Well, I'm not saying these are the end of days, but they are certainly the coronavirus days. Maybe we need to rekindle and relive and refresh and remember that promise that he is with us in every one of these days. This is the first of a little series of YouTube talks that I'm going to be doing, looking at the stories of Jesus, the life of Jesus, and how it resonates with you and me in this coronavirus time. So if you found this one quite interesting, you might like to look out for the next one that will be coming along in a few days' time. Thank you for listening. God bless you all.